we can record this for everybody for future use. And let's go right ahead. Pallav, how you doing today?
Doing very well, Bobby. Thanks a lot for having me here.
Excellent, excellent.
Thanks for hosting it for us.
So go ahead and go to that first slide. I'd like to kind of introduce who's here today.
Right. So I'm Pallav Narhani. Bobby, I run a company called Colabian, and it's a part of the Fusion Charts Group company. We've been doing data visualization for the last 15 years and have about 27,000 customers and across 118 countries. The majority of the Fortune 500 companies have.
Hello. I'm sorry. I think Pallav, you were muted. I apologize. This is my fault. Hey, Pallav, I'm going to kind of start over here. I apologize, people. Pallav was kind of introducing himself and the company. So, Pallav, could you please start again? My apologies.
No worries, Bobby. Happens. Hello, everyone. I'm Pallav Narhani, and I'm from Colabian. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Colabian, and we are part of Fusion Charts, where we have been building data visualization tools, libraries, and components for the last 15 years. We've been extremely lucky to have 27,000 customers across 118 countries. And Colabian is one of our newer companies where we wanted to bring the goodness of data visualization to Microsoft SharePoint and Office 365. And this is what we're going to cover today. First, we are going to be announcing a partnership with InfoWise, and we have Will Cooper from InfoWise, who's gladly agreed to join the call with us, and he's going to be talking about it, followed by a brief introduction to what dashboards are, how it can be useful to you, and then how you can use Colabian to build such dashboards with extreme ease of use. That will be followed by 30 minutes of hands-on usage of Colabian to build such dashboards, and then we'll head up into the Q&A. Before that, we'd like to get into a quick poll. Bobby, if you may.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll. You know what? The first thing we really like to know from you is, what version or versions of SharePoint are you utilizing? I realize most companies these days tend to use a kind of a hybrid approach, but with the advent of Office 365 Online, obviously that puts in a whole nother layer. So if you could please go ahead and vote here, and please select all that apply. And so currently we have about half of you have voted. I'm going to wait until about 70% or a little above that. So if you please could vote, I'd appreciate it. Right now we're up to about 65%. Come on, people. Again, we'd like to know exactly what versions you are utilizing. So if you could please choose from the above, that'd be great. And I am going to go ahead and close the poll. And I will go ahead and share the results with you right now. And as you can see, wow, it truly is a true hybrid here situation. And this is no surprise that typically between 40, we find that between 40 to 50% have moved to Office 365 or SharePoint Online. So, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Pallav.
Thank you, Bobby. And with that, I would like to introduce Will Cooper from InfoWise. Will, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Pallav. So yeah, my name's Will Cooper. I'm the training coordinator over at InfoWise. I also do a lot of SharePoint development and consulting. And it happens that I've been a customer of Colabian, and I've used their product extensively over the last few years. In fact, I love both of these products. As Pallav is going to show us, with Colabian, you can create visually compelling dashboards, and more importantly, it's really easy to set up. I have some experience doing charting using different approaches with programming and scripting, and also with other third-party tools. And I can promise that it can be a headache and it can be difficult to set up because there are many configuration options that have to be considered. So if I had to pick one thing that I really love about using Calabion is it's just so easy for me to create charts from data, and I love that. So we are working together in a strategic partnership, and that's because in both of these softwares, we really allow some easy options to create great dashboards and forms. So these are great products to use together. Another thing, I wanted to talk about with both of these, it's really easy to get a trial going. And what's really nice is it's not limited in any way. So after you see this presentation, you may be thinking about the next step. It's really easy to get this installed on your server, and you won't be limited as far as seeing the various options. So really easy to kind of take that next step if you're interested. As I mentioned, I've used both of these products together in multiple solutions over the last 3 years. If after the webinar at any time someone is interested in getting a demo or talking more in depth about your needs, we'd be very happy to show you some of those kind of solutions. And so later in our presentation, we'll actually look at a solution of those two combined. So this is a great product, and Vlad, thanks for inviting me today. I've really enjoyed being a customer, and I'm glad that we're having an opportunity to share these tools with other SharePoint users.
Thank you, Will, and we are really excited about this partnership as well. So moving on, what is the dashboard and why use them? A lot of you might have been using some charts or some widgets as part of your SharePoint environment or outside. The primary reason we call a combination of these as dashboards is A, because they're all combined to form a singular view of a particular department or for a particular function, and B, it gives you a bird's eye view. So there could be different kinds of dashboards, like a project dashboard, which aligns you on whatever different projects are running in your organization. There could be financial dashboards for doing your compliances, your cash flow analysis, sales dashboard to keep on top of the number of leads, the closures, the sales efficiency ratios, and marketing dashboard to keep track of your web visits, your conversions, your SEO, so on and so forth. And Calabion allows you to build all of these with extreme ease of use. First up, as a business user, you never have to write code. And typically with Calabion, in just a few clicks, you can get a chart ready, and in less than a few minutes, you can have a dashboard ready. And we are going to be seeing some of that today. And we'll be going very hands-on with building a dashboard. So Calabion Data Part is our suite of products. So we have a chart web part, which allows you to create over 50 chart types. We have a grid web part, which allows pivoting capabilities within the browser, within your SharePoint environment. And we have a filter web part, which we are soon coming up with to help you filter your dashboards for private views of data. And Calabion works with all the versions of SharePoint. So we work on-premise with SharePoint 2010, including Foundation Server. We work with SharePoint 2013, as well as SharePoint 2016. Alongside, we also have a version for SharePoint Online, Office 365, which is a lightweight version of Calabion. But Calabion Data Part, the product which we are going to be talking about today and creating dashboards with, is primarily for use within your on-premise SharePoint. And the good news is it connects to all the data sources that you have within your SharePoint, whether it's your SharePoint list, CSV files, Excel files, MS SQL databases, ODBC connections, Oracle, line of business, you name it, and we can connect to it. And as Will mentioned, our download and installation is very simple. So you can simply go to our website at calabion.com, get the set of files for the right SharePoint version that you have, double click on it on your SharePoint farm, and install through our wizard-based installation. Again, no coding required at all. So with that, let's get to another quick poll before we jump into creation of a dashboard. Bobby, would you please?
Okay, sorry about that. I was muted. I went ahead and launched a poll. So what kind of how are you currently creating charts and dashboards within SharePoint? Please let us know. There's different third-party solutions out there, and of course there's a lot of ways to create charts and dashboards, but none so easy as Calabian. But we would really like to know how you're currently utilizing this kind of functionality. And so far, we have about 60% of the people have voted, and we're going to keep going for about another probably 20 seconds here. Let's get this up to about 70%. So if you haven't voted, please do. And we were at, gosh, it looks like 62%. Waiting for a couple more votes to come in. So if you haven't voted, please do so now. And I'm going to go ahead and close the poll and share the results. And as you can see, it looks like Power BI is the real deal here. Is the one that most people are utilizing. And wow, it looks like quite a few people here need Calabian. Let's go ahead and close this and continue.
That's indeed good news for us. Thank you so much. So let us now see firsthand what can Calabian do for you. So before we go into building any of these charts, I want to take a couple of minutes and show the output of the charts that we are going to build today so that you have a better understanding of the approach of building it. This is a very simple sales by salesperson chart where on the x-axis, you can see you have your sales member's name, and on the y-axis, you have sales revenue or the sales done by the person. And when you hover over the columns, like others, you have your tooltips, which are dynamic. Plus, you also have the option to export the chart. So I can either export it as an image, like here I'm just trying to export it as a PNG. And if I open the PNG here, you can see it's an exact graphic of the chart, which you can use for sending over email or for embedding in your report. And you can even export it as an Excel file straight from here. So if I click on here and do export as, something just went wrong. Okay, we're going to come back to this one. The second one is top 5 sales performance. So here, with the same chart, instead of showing all the sales members, what we have done is taken the top 5 members, and this is an interesting use case in Calabian where you can show the top record, and we're going to cover how to build that. And a small addition here is we have also added a custom branding. If you see the Calabian logo on the bottom left of the chart, so this allows you to brand your dashboards, brand your charts for sending over emails and again as reports. Moving on to the next chart. This one is especially interesting because without Calabian, building this would be a lot of effort. So here, what we are trying to show is your sales drill down from your continent, let's say North America here. So if I click on North America, it takes me to the regions within North America. As you can see, US, Canada, and Mexico. Again, if I click on US here, it takes me to the states here. If I then again click on Washington here, it takes me to the regions. If I click on Seattle here, now here's the interesting part. From Seattle, we didn't want to go down into further regions. From Seattle, we wanted to see what is the distribution of different categories of products within Seattle. So here I can see beverages are 32% of total sales in Seattle. And if we want to go even further, we can just click on beverages and see individual products. So for example, Chang is 9% of beverages in Seattle. And what also happens is each time when you were drilling down into this chart, Calabian created a breadcrumb for you here, right below the chart, if you can see my mouse. So you can directly go to any of these regions. For example, if I want to go back to Seattle, I just click this and I see my sales, category-wise sales in Seattle. Or if I want to go and explore another city within Washington, I can do that. Or within USA, or go back to the top level. So this is again a very powerful feature in Calabian. And when we show you how to build this, all of this was done in less than 5 minutes and within a few clicks. Apart from charts, Calabian also offers you data tables and grids. So This is a data table, data grid, or pivot, however you want to call it, created using Colabion. So here you can see all the sales items by category and product name and customer country. And you can also see the purchase amount. You can go through different pages by clicking on here. You can even search for a particular product here, like click on the product name, click on filter, and let's say if you search for tofu here. And these are all the sales of tofu. And you can apply multiple levels of search. Let's say sales of tofu in Germany. We can just go and add Germany here. And these are different sales of tofu in Germany. So this allows for very detailed exploration of data. For now, I'm just going to clear this filters and show you something more. So as of now, what you're seeing are individual order records, individual sales records. What if you wanted to group it by, let's say, country? And Colabion makes it very easy. So click on the column customer country header, just drag and drop it here. Now the entire grid sorted by country. So you can see Argentina, all the sales in Argentina. Similarly, if I want to add one more layer, for example, show me country and category as a pivot. Just drag and drop category here. And we can see sale of beverages within Argentina. And these are your individual records here. So again, we're going to build this as part of today's webinar and show how we can do it in less than 5 minutes again. This is the last item we are going to build, so I'm just going to showcase this here as well. This is the same data what we saw above in the data grid, but pivoted by category names. So in this column, the first column that you see is the customer country. So all the rows here are individual countries. And in individual columns, we have each of the categories of the products that have been sold. So it's a roll-up pivot table, again, created very easily using Colabion. And what we have also done is we have added conditional formatting here. So if you look at Germany, or if you look at USA here, these are items over $50,000. So what we have done is added conditional formatting here to highlight these items. And the use of such highlighting is when you're looking at a lot of data, you want to sort of not miss out important items. Like the ones in orange here are items less than $1,000 in sales. So you can create your own conditional formatting and add on top of this grid. So with that being showcased, let us go and create all of this one by one. So the first chart we want to create is sales per member. And this is, we are going to create a copy of this chart. So I'm going to go and create in a fresh empty page within SharePoint. So let's go to, so this is a fresh page of SharePoint where we do not have any other items right now. So it's going to create edit. Now you're in the edit mode of the page. So to insert a Colabion web part, you go to the insert tab here and you click on the web part here. And you'll see all the web parts that you have installed within your SharePoint environment. Colabion data parts for SharePoint is the one that you have to look out for. You'll see 3 options here: the chart, chart exporter, and data grid. Today we are going to be talking about the chart and the data grid. And as of now, we're building a chart. So let's click on the chart and click on add. The moment you click on add, you get this screen here where your chart will appear. And you'll get a link to launch the Colabion wizard here. So this is the charts wizard. Just click on this charts wizard launching link. And this screen that you see is the Colabion configuration screen, the chart creation screen. And what you see here on the left is a set of items which you can navigate through to create and configure the chart. On the right is the preview panel. Once as and when we create the chart will get updated here. And in the center is your work panel. For this example, we are going to use SharePoint list. As you can see, Colabion supports a lot of different data sources. But for this example, let's go ahead and use a list. And you can use a list from your current site, different site, or your URL. In this example, we'll use from the current site. So let's just connect to the current site. It says that the connection has succeeded. And then let's select a list from here. Let's say sales by employees. And let's select a view of from this list, which is all items. Now, just to ensure that the connection is successful, what you can do is click on this button called View Data right here. When you click on this, it will show you all the data that Colabion has fetched in a grid. There we go. So this is the data that we are going to plot. There are about 10 rows here, as you can see on the bottom right. and click on next. And here are all the columns from the list. In this list, because it's a very simple list, we only have 2 columns, employee name and sales. So we're going to keep both of these checked and click on next. And when we go to the chart type here, so we'll select this column chart type. And there you go, you have a chart on the right. So you can see all the employees here. You can see all the sales values here. But right now, what is missing is a little bit of hygiene in the chart. For example, on the y-axis, because this is revenue numbers, we want to add $1 to the chart. So let's just go to number formatting here, add $1 here, which is your number prefix. Prefix is something which gets added before the number. And if you want to add suffix, which is after the number, just add that here. And because we are talking about millions of dollars here, let's reduce the number of decimals. We just scroll down here and put a number 1. So here it's rounding the decimals of all the numbers on the chart. And when we click on apply here, there you go. All the values on the chart are now having dollars at the front. And additionally, there are decimal places have been rounded to 3.6, which is 1 decimal places. Now, given this is a sales chart, why not format it? We want to have our best sales guys on the left side of the chart and show it in descending order. Doing that is very easy. Just go back to series customization and you see an option of sorting. Because we want to sort by the sales value, we click sales here and select descending and again apply. And all the values in the chart have been sorted. And to make the chart a little pretty, let's just convert the background to white. So Calabian offers you a lot of options for customizations of practically everything on the chart. We are not going to cover all of them here because it's very exhaustive. But for the sake of demo, let's just convert the background color to white. Just click here. And there we go. And this preview is when you click the finish button here is what will get embedded in your main SharePoint page. There you go. And you have the options for export here. Again, if you want to click export as PNG, it automatically comes here. One thing which you might want to keep in mind is by default, we do not enable export as Excel because we also pass the data in Excel. So if you have to enable export in Excel, there's a special configuration for this where I'm going back to edit the Calabian chart through the wizard. And you go to the export settings here, which is all configuration around the exporting of the chart. And you can click this checkbox, which says enable exporting chart data as Excel spreadsheet. You can also enable exporting of chart as PowerPoint. Click on that and apply here and finish. Let's see if this works this time. There might be a little bit of issue. Yeah, there it goes. So when I clicked on export here and I'm just opening the Excel, you can see here's a live Excel chart, which is a native Excel chart here connected with the data table. So which is why we have not enabled the Excel option by default. And if you want your users to export to Excel, this is what you can do. All right, so let's go back to the other part of the demo. Oops. Yeah, so this was the first chart that we promised will help you create. And I think it took less than 5 minutes to create that. Let's now go and change this chart to look like this. Here, if you look at the changes, we are only talking about top 5 sales performers instead of all the salespeople here. And what we also want to do is add a little bit of branding here, which is Calabian logo. So let's go and change some of the parameters in the chart we just created to show only top 5. So we open the Calabian wizard again and give it some time to open. And on the left, you will find here within the data selection, top and record. This basically helps you select how many records in the chart you want to display. And because the chart is already sorted in descending order, we can just write top 5 records only. By the way, you have two options here. Let's say if you wanted to show top 25% of my sales guys, which is like top quartile, you can do top 25% record. But here our intention is to only show the top 5 sales guys. So we just do top 5 records and apply here. And there we have the top 5 sales guys. And we said we are also going to add a little bit of branding here. So we go back to the cosmetics, which is the tab for you to change everything which is the visual and functional elements of the chart. Go to custom branding. Now here's a space for you to specify your logo URL. I'm just going to copy a logo URL which I have already pasted somewhere, and I do this. So and I preview. Now you can see this logo is slightly bigger for this chart. And what we wanted to do was two things. One is place it at the bottom left. And let's also decrease the size of the logo right from here. You do not need to go and open any graphic editor or go back to your graphic stream. Just change the scale of the logo here and preview it. And there you go. It nicely fits into your chart at the bottom. And this is the chart that we wanted. All right. I think this took less than 3 minutes. So let's go back to the third chart. This one is the most interesting chart with multi-level drill down. Again, if you remember, here we are talking about drilling down from continent level data to country level to state level, city, and then finally changing the chart type to show the category of products within that city. And there's one more level of drill down here, which is from the category of the product to individual products. And all of these breadcrumbs are generated automatically by Collabia. So we have one main chart and 5 levels of drill down. So for this chart, we're going to use a different data source. So let's go back and embed another Collabia web part. Click on the web part here, go back to Collabia chart here, and add it. And again, you'll see a familiar screen now where you can click and open the Collabia charts wizard. So again, use a SharePoint list for this, where we have this data stored. Let's connect to the SharePoint list in current site. And this list is called sales order details here. And we want to use the all items view from this. And just to ensure again, if the connection went right, click on view data. And you'll see all the items in the SharePoint list, which will come here. So you can see there are about over 2,100 records here and a lot of different fields in the data, which is what will make it interesting to visualize. One interesting thing which will happen here is the moment you click on next, once it loads up, you'll see all these things here. We do not need all these items because our primary intention was to plot product names, category names, then we had ship city, ship country, ship region, and then we had the total purchase amount, and we just applied here. These are the different fields required from the SharePoint list to be able to create that multi-level drill down chart. Here's the interesting thing which has happened. So because this SharePoint list has about over 2,100 items, Collabia intentionally does not show a preview here right now. So any list or any data source which is over 250 items, we do not show a preview here, but if you render the chart in the main SharePoint environment, it will. But it's not a great practice because with so many data points, charts won't be legible. So first, let's go and apply grouping to this data. So as and when I apply the grouping to this data, you will see the chart preview will start showing up. So grouping data is where we are trying to roll up the data. Our first view is where we want to sum up all the data by continent. So we just click on enable grouping of data here in the screen, if you see. And because we want to see by continents first, we select ship continent here, scroll a little bit down, and since we want to see a sum of purchase amount, these are all the fields that we had selected, and the total purchase amount is the only numeric field, only number field, and we want to see a sum of it, and we apply it. And now you see on the right side, once it loads up, is Calabian has automatically rolled up all the sales amount for those continents in this chart. Before we add drill down to this, let's make a few modifications. What you're seeing here in the legend key is total purchase amount because that's coming from the list, but actually this is the total sales. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it a little bit. So we go to series customization, go to series here. You see this is the value column from where the values are plotted. And here's the series name. You can just change it to total sales here and apply. And this is where all the sales now get, this is where the total sales shows. Now to add drill down, we go to this drill down option here. You'll see a lot of options here, but given what we want to do, we select the first option because we want to show a new chart. It's a subset of data. So click on this first one. In the initial, this looks scary, but once you get used to it, it's extremely easy. So our first goal was to move from continent to country. So here, first we select ship country. And we want this drill down to happen in the same chart, but we want to sort it with the values, which is total order values showing in descending order. And we'll do it in descending. If you just do this, what we have done right now, you only get one level of drill down. But our goal was to create 5 levels of drill down. So we just check this multi-level drill down here. And after country, the next level of drill down was region. After region, we add the next level of drill down as city. After city, we wanted to see the categories of products sold within that city. And after categories, we wanted to see the product names within that city, which within that category that was sold. And we also wanted to do one thing, like when it came to the category level chart, we wanted to change it to a pie chart. So we just click on customize there and convert this to a pie chart here. That's all you need to do to change the type of chart from one level to another. And similarly in the product, again, you do a pie chart here and you click on OK. And this is all you need to do. And we click on finish here. And there's a chart that we wanted. If we go back to the same hierarchy, if we click on North America, there you have your USA. Again, we'll go through the same part to show you how easy it was to create a multi-level drill down chart with different chart types at different levels of the drill down in less than 5 minutes. And again, you can see all the breadcrumbs here. You can jump from any of these to anywhere. So if you want to go back to USA, just click here, and this is all you get. Moving on. So this is where we move on from charts to the grids. So grids is something which we very recently launched as part of Calabian Data Part, and it helps you create these kind of tables, which are extremely interactive at the client side, and you can do a lot of pivoting both on the client and server side. So for now, we're going to create this grid here. It's a very simple grid with 4 columns: category name, product name, customer country, and purchase amount. And we're going to try and do it in less than 3 minutes. So let's go to Calabian Data Part again. Click on Insert, click on Web Part. This time there's one change. Instead of chart, you select data grid to be inserted because that's a different web part that we have within Data Part. And click on Add. And again, you will get a similar interface here. Instead of chart, it says your data grid will appear here. And instead of the chart wizard, it tells you to launch the Calabian Grid Wizard, which is very similar to the charts wizard. If you have used the charts wizard, it's going to be very familiar to you. So again, we're going to select SharePoint list from a current site. And we're going to use the same list that we had used last time, which is sales order detail, and with a view of all view items. And just again, click on previews to see this preview here, just to see if everything is working right. And at the bottom, you see the grid. Here, we are only previewing 10 records. And because there are a lot of columns here, and we said we only want to show 4 columns, we're going to deselect all and just select the columns that we wanted: product, category name, country, and total purchase amount. And apply. You'll just get a dialog saying it's going to clear all the settings and apply the new settings. Just accept that. And voila, that's your grid right within your SharePoint. And again, this is an interactive grid, so you can type in your category name here. You can then repivot by customer country. All of those are possible. And the last part, which we want to do now after this grid, this is a slightly more complex grid, because here we are going to pivot the same data in this format, where we have the customer country in rows and the different categories of the products in columns. And we're going to apply 2 different conditional filters to be able to highlight such data. So let's go and modify the same grid, because we have already connected this. The only thing you'll need to do is select a few more fields for this one, because we have shift con. Yes, so this is category name, customer country, and total purchase amount. Sorry, we need to remove product name, because that's we don't need that product name right now. Right now, if you just click on this, you will see these 3 columns being shown in the grid here. What you need to do is just go into the grouping and use this like an Excel pivot table. Because we want the country on the row, we drag and drop it here. We want the category names on the columns, we drag and drop it here. We want the total purchase amount here, we drag and drop it here. And click on apply. This interface must be familiar to all the Excel users. And if you see at the bottom of the window, the preview record, let's just vanish for a minute. That's the output we wanted. You have all the countries here. You have all the categories here. We'll quickly configure the sorting for the countries so that the countries appear in an ascending order. So we just sort by country in ascending order. And if you look at this column here now, it's a sorted one. So this is the first part of the pivot. Let's now apply the conditional formatting that I was talking about. What we wanted to do was highlight all cells where beverages was greater or equal to 50,000. So I just select beverages from all the columns here, apply the conditional filter, and change the background color to a shade of green. And I click on apply here. And you can see Germany is highlighted. And let's say to apply to condiments where the values are less than 1,000, we just go change the column to condiments, and we say less than equal to 1,000, and you just make it a shade of red. And there you go. It automatically colors everything less than 1,000. And let's just click on finish to show you the final output here. You can see this is the grid which you wanted to do, which is pivoted by categories and countries, and you have your conditional formatting. So at this point in time, I would like to invite Will to showcase some of the possibilities of Collabio and InfoWise. So just going to transfer the control to Will here.
Okay, thanks. Can you see my screen okay?
Yep, looks great.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to go quick. We have a lot of information that we want to show, so I really want to emphasize a few key points so that I can get to our question and answer. I know some of you have some questions here. I want to emphasize I'm coming from a customer perspective. I've used this to develop charts over the last 3 years, and I just wanted to say real quick some of the reasons why you should care and why you want to use this product, why it's going to be a much better solution for you than anything that you've been using before. This is just an example list that we're using. This has some of the InfoWise controls. So as I mentioned, with our other tool set, of course, we very much believe in the value of providing a visual interface. This is so much better than a wall of text. This list is feeding our Collabio chart data. And as Pallav had demonstrated, you have fantastic drill down capabilities That's what we have in our demo site using that. As Plav had shown, you can do like an accumulation chart that shows you a progression over time. In fact, there's actually, I think, over 50 different kinds of charts. It's really pretty incredible. I love to see how those different types of charts work. And early in using the product, one thing I enjoy doing in a sandbox is actually trying to make a practice chart of each of those different types. And that's the thing about this product. It's really fun and interesting to explore those different chart types and options. If you take nothing else from this presentation today, I just want to emphasize to you how very easy it is to set up these charts. And in my experience, what has really helped tremendously with that is the preview functionality. And I don't think that should be taken for granted. That's not available when you're setting up charts and other types of tools. But the way that the configuration is set up, the way that you work your way down incrementally through the left navigation and can see immediate results and feedback on the right panel is just so very important. It allows you to see just exactly immediately how your setting change impacts the chart. And with any types of charts used in any software, inevitably, you do have to make a lot of tweaks on configuration so that immediate real-time feedback on the view makes a huge difference, and it makes it so easy for you to create this. One other thing I think is cool is as you learn how to work with this setup, it's so nice that with the data grids that Pallav showed, really use exactly the same kind of process. So basically, as you become a charting veteran, so too will you naturally be very comfortable with using the grids that he showed. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. You get an extra benefit if you have the product. So the configuration is awesome. It just makes sense. It's very intuitive. As a customer, I was able to figure that out very quickly on my own. I didn't feel like I needed to go with the technical documentation. There's lots of great embedded help, these little information bubbles, and it just makes sense. Never did I feel frustrated setting that up. And I never see any kind of errors or run into issues. And usually it is the case with SharePoint software that you will hit some walls and things like that. But in my experience, it's always worked very consistently and very reliably. That's been a nice benefit. Honestly, at this point, and as a SharePoint developer and consultant, I can honestly tell you there's no reason that I would ever want to use any kind of other SharePoint charting software. I just really love this software that much. I really depend on it. And for business customers, whenever I'm building tools, I do everything I can to incorporate charting into the solution so that we can have visual elements. But in all cases, the feedback I have is great. And I think and hope if you adopt the software that you're really going to impress and make your other business users very happy with what you make. And you're able to get this done in a few minutes. From their perspective, they think you've really just gone over and above. So it just really is awesome, and I really encourage all of you to take that next step, which is to download and try the software. It's great. So at this point, let's go ahead and move on. We really appreciate you guys' time today. I think we're going to move towards question and answer and summary. So thanks for your attention.
Yeah, I'm gonna real quick launch this last poll, and then we're gonna get to question and answers. Okay. So we would like to know if how to follow up with you, basically, if at all. So if you could do me a favor and please vote here, I'd appreciate it. And if you don't vote, of course, we'll be calling, emailing, and making sure that we know how to follow up with you. Yeah, that won't really happen, but please let us know how to follow up with you. So far, only about 40% have voted. Please, people, get on and take a vote. All right, we're about 50%. So can you please go ahead and vote for this and let us know how to follow up with you, if at all. And I'm going to go ahead and close this poll, and thank you so much. And we're going to go ahead and start with the question and answer area. All right, so Pallav, would you like me to go over some of these questions, or did you have another way you'd like to do this? I got the questions right here in front of me.
Bobby, if you can help me go through over them, that'd be great.
Okay, tremendous. Okay, one of the first questions, actually this was asked multiple times. Let's see. Can I view the dashboards on mobiles and tablets?
Absolutely. All our charts and dashboards are created in HTML5 JavaScript, so it works on your mobiles, on your tablets, on your desktops, pretty much every modern browser on any device.
Okay, excellent. So it goes across the board. Excellent.
I've got a quick one if you want, Bobby.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pallav, can you talk about how the what charting option is available in Office 365 and your plans there? I know there's been a lot of uptick in terms of businesses using Office 365, and I know that you guys have been working on that. I know there's some information you'd like to share there.
Right, well, so we already have a lightweight charting solution on Office 365 for SharePoint Online, which is a subset of the features right now, and it's out there and available for free. We are working on a full-blown solution to bring all the power of Calabian data part, which is on-prem, to SharePoint Online. That's a couple of quarters away, so we'll keep everyone posted around that.
Okay, great. Asked by Jim W. How do you license your products? Do I need a per user license for creating charts, for viewing charts? How does this all work?
We license it for server, for web fronted server, and it allows for unlimited creators and unlimited viewers of the chart. So once it's installed on your web fronted server, any number of users can come in and create, and we do not restrict any number of viewers as well.
Excellent. Okay, I want to visualize my sales data and other kinds of data as a funnel. That makes sense. Sales data is a funnel. Can Calabian do funnels?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, that's one of the good things about Calabian, that we have a lot of chart types which are not typically found in other business applications or sometimes even in Office. For example, you have the Marimekko chart for marketing analysis. You have the funnel chart for sales. You have the Pareto chart for the 80-20. We have the waterfall chart, and soon we'll be adding a lot of other chart types as well, which are very, very specific to particular domains.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm not sure how to exactly present this question, but I've got somebody obviously in manufacturing here that says we have over 50,000 different point areas in which in which we have data. So from a manufacturing, I guess this manufacturing, I need to plot that on a chart. Can Calabian do it?
So looks like it's operational data coming in from manufacturing, could be real time, but overall looks like that's a lot of data. So we have a couple of charts in Calabian, which is already out there. The zoom line chart, which can plot tens of thousands of data and even update in real time. So for a use case like this, where you have a lot of data, yes, we have you covered.
Okay, excellent. What about training and helping? Like, we obviously with that many points of data, are you going to be able to train these people or actually help create dashboards with all this?
So we have both options here, Bobby. One is anyone who needs to get on a 1-hour training for Calabian. It's free of cost. You just contact us and we'll train you on Calabian for 1 hour, no commitment, whether you're a customer or not. Otherwise, we have paid training programs as well, which we either can customize based on your requirements or the standard 1-day training, which is available through our team. So, and can we help you create dashboards? Absolutely. Anytime you want a dashboard, just write an email to us and we'll be happy to talk to you and create the first dashboard and subsequent ones as well if you're a customer.
Okay. All right. It looks like Brian Renflesh, you're asking about the differences between Collabian and Power BI. You know what? That is just, unfortunately, that's a very, very broad topic that we can't really address here. But certainly what we'll do is get in touch with you regarding that. Okay. And you had a couple other questions, and we'll just get back to you on that, Brian. There are a few other things in here. I know we are running oh boy, we're actually a little overdue here. It's 5 minutes till the end of the hour. So what we'll do, you know what, we have about 30 other questions here, Pallav, but there is no way that we're going to be able to get to like a portion of these here. And most of them are, yeah. And most of these aren't something we can just answer like those ones that I chose. So if we can please, if you allow us to please get back to everybody on these questions, we will certainly be emailing you and getting in touch with you regarding the answers. Okay. With that, I am going to go ahead and I think this is a good time to go ahead and close things out. It's about 5 minutes till 3. We've been on for about 55 minutes, and I think we're about done. So thank you so much for joining us on this. Boy, this is one of the more interesting products I've seen in a long time. So anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and we look forward to following up with you as you've requested. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Plav.
Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Will. Thank you, everyone.